Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another one of my Gay Gamer video podcasts. As I told you last episode, it's going to be a little more infrequent right now because we're moving to a new apartment and so we're packing and I don't have as much time for this sort of thing right now, but I wanted to do one this week because I finished Firewatch, so I wanted to discuss it. I enjoyed it. I know now why everybody was raving about it. Good game. But I have to say I was slightly disappointed in the end. Let me explain. The game is graphically beautiful. I love the visual style, the lightly cartoony edge to the graphics. It's gorgeous, and I loved walking through the forest. And the dialogue and performances are wonderful. Hank and Delilah, great voice acting, super good. And the story itself is fascinating. The way the mystery unfolds and what's really going on, and who is the shadowy figure, and where did those people go, and what's going on, and what's that camp. You know, like, as the mystery unfolds, as you explore more and more of the area, I liked that. My only problem was when you reach the end of the game, the actual answer to the mystery is satisfying. I was like, okay, very emotional. I was like, wow, okay, that's messed up, and wow. But then it just sort of stops, and I didn't, like the game ends, and it just goes to black, and then the credits start, and I'm like, wait, that's it? And I'm like, well, maybe there's like an epilogue after the credits that, like, gives you a little something. No, nothing. I'm sitting there watching the credits, and, like, as the credits are scrolling, I can see, like, the developed pictures. There's, like, the 2 pictures that I took with the disposable camera that you find during the game. And I was like, oh, well, if I had known that was going to happen, I would have taken pictures with the disposable camera, and then at least I'd have, like, personalized credits, and I could see my pictures there or whatever. The problem is that when you pick up the disposable camera, the game doesn't actually tell you how to use it. And you don't have to use it, except at the end, when she's like, maybe you can take pictures of the evidence if you want. And I thought, oh, okay, this is where I'm supposed to use that disposable camera. How do I use the disposable camera? And I just started pushing buttons, and I found the one that activated the camera, and I took a couple of pictures. And I was like, oh, but you don't have to. It doesn't affect the ending of the game. Like, the game goes the way it goes, and that's all there is to it. And in fact, you pick up some things during the game that they're just, sometimes you pick things up and they're just decorative and you just look at them and put them back down or toss them on the ground. And then other things you keep, but, like, there's food and stuff, but you don't have to eat. It's not, like, part of the game. It's just sort of there. The only things that you pick up that you end up using are the ropes and the spikes so that you can rappel and climb, so you can get around. So that was sort of weird, and I was like, why are they even here? Like, it doesn't add anything to the game because you don't actually use them. But then, like I said, the ending, I thought that throughout the game, you are conversing with Delilah over the walkie-talkie, and you have dialogue options, and, you know, so that you can steer the conversation, and you can be nice, you could be aggressive, you can be flirty, you can be mean, like, whatever. But I feel like, now that I finished it, I feel like that just changes her responses to you. So you would hear different dialogue, but it wouldn't change anything about the story. Because I thought that the choices that I made, and the dialogue options, and the way that I treated Delilah, I would get a little epilogue that said, and this is how things turned out between them, and this is what happened in Hank's life, and because of the choices that you had made during the game. But there was no epilogue. There was nothing. Literally, the title screen came back up, and I was like, that's it? So, I felt like it was slightly disappointing because I felt like it was unresolved. And I get that you want to have, like, an ambiguous ending, but you could But, like, that's fine, but what bothered me is that I felt that all the choices that I had made in those dialogue options throughout the entire game, they had no effect on anything. And I feel like if I was to play it again, which now I don't feel like, oh, I could get a different ending, you know, I feel like I could play it again and hear different dialogue by choosing different options and playing it as a different kind of guy. But I would just hear different dialogue options from Delilah. It's not like, oh, well, I wouldn't get that particular scene, or I wouldn't get this particular ending because I made those choices. Like, your choices amount to nothing. It's like less than in a Telltale game. So that was kind of disappointing. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was worth the $20. The only way that I might play it again, I think, is if, like, one of the special features is you can just free roam through the entire environment with no story. So you can just wander around and enjoy the scenery. And I'm like, that's something I might do. Because I like, you know, walking simulators are awesome. I think they're fantastic. So that would be lovely. But yeah, I was slightly underwhelmed by the ending. But the actual story itself is good. I just felt like my choices didn't mean anything, really. And of course, I've also been playing a lot of Red Dead 2. Delightful. I'm upset, though, because I'm in Chapter 6, and I know that there's, like, Chapter 6, and then there's, like, I think, like, an epilogue or two. So I'm like, so I'm trying to, like, do other things and side quests, but I'm, like, running out, and now, like, the only things that I'm able to do are, like, story missions, and I'm like, because I don't want it to end. And like I said in previous episodes, I know that there's Red Dead Online where I could literally just play in this world and do what I like, but I don't want to do that because people will kill me, because that's what people do in Red Dead Online. And I'm hoping if I wait long enough, then maybe it'll be, like, less people will be playing it. I want it to not be popular so that people won't be playing it, and then I can just enjoy it and have fun and not worry about getting killed every 5 minutes by jackasses who are just being mean. But I'm also really upset because I wanted to get all the legendary fish, because hunting is a lot of effort, but fishing I find I enjoy and it's easier. So I'm like, well, let me just go, and I look at the legendary fish map, and I go find that place on the real map, and unfortunately, I've caught almost all of them, but there's this one, there's like 2 left, and one of them I haven't gone to find yet. And another one, it's like, what the hell, like, it's marked on my map, there's a legendary fish here, and I've tried fishing off different sections. I've looked online for guides of, like, where to find it, and, like, where to fish from, and nothing works. And every time I fish in that lake, I just get muskie. And I'm like, damn it. And I think it's the legendary smallmouth bass that I'm after, and I just keep catching muskie after muskie after muskie, and I'll sit there and try for, like, 15-20 minutes, and I just keep throwing those muskies back, and I'm just like, god damn it. And it's super annoying. And now I'm like, there's a bug, I'm not going to be able to catch that legendary fish, so now I won't be able to finish that, and that was, like, one of the side quests that I was like, that's a challenge I can finish, except now I can't because the game won't let me. So, I'll try to do some other things, and then maybe I'll go back and try to do it later. I'm also a little concerned about the end of the game. I know there's little epilogues, but based on what's happening in the game, I'm trying not to spoil it, even though I'm pretty sure, like, everybody's already finished it. But I feel like based on what is happening in the game, I'm like, okay, how can there be, like, post-game content? You know, like, after the story finishes, Arthur, you know, normally you feel like you'd be able to free roam around the world and just finish up those side quests and finish up the legendary stuff and do what you want it to do. Except, given what's happening to Arthur, I don't see how that's possible. But maybe it is. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. I mean, I feel like I'm close to the end, but I'm probably not, and it's probably still going to take me another month or so just to finish this. So I'll enjoy it while I have it. I'm going to end this now because I got packing to do. So I will see you again at some point. We'll see when I can do my next episode. And talk to you later. Happy gaming. Bye!